Happy Veterans Day to everyone who served. Thank you very much for your service. As a veteran myself, it's a day that's very, very important to me. So, from everyone who works with the Pat in the Back show and the Rudy Tuesday show, we wanted to make sure that we gave you a nice, sincere, from the bottom of our heart, Happy Veterans Day, and thank you for our service. Or thank you for your service. All right, let's talk some football. Okay, so week 10 has passed in the NFL. I know we used to talk a lot more college football. Honestly, I haven't been watching that much college football. Okay, I've been busy, man. I've been busy. So week 11 in college football has passed. I've been busy on Saturdays. I don't have a lot of time to hang out and just live my best life of watching football game after football game after football game. Unfortunately, I have to get things done at some point, and that sucks. But I did make a point to watch the Buffalo Bills game on Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock. Final score of that game, Dolphins 30, Bills 13. What a massive, massive disappointment that was. That's the kind of game that, honestly, it should be. I don't even know what to say. The Bills should never have even been worried about losing that game. I mean, not even remotely should we have been worried about losing that game. The Dolphins were coming in this game, had 2 wins. They suck. They suck so much. They just fired their GM. Like, honestly, what the fuck were you doing out there, Buffalo? Even Josh Allen looked bad. He had a bad game. He had Superman moments. He had a lot of Superman moments, but ultimately we were turning the ball over fucking every down, it seemed like. It was insane. And we shouldn't be needing Josh Allen to be Superman against teams like that. You're supposed to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. That's what Super Bowl teams do. Do you lose a game here and there? Yeah. Maybe a mid-tier opponent slips by you. Maybe you're coming up against another playoff team and it slips by you. That shit happens. But a team that's 2-7, you can't lose to those teams, man. That's fucking ridiculous. That's ridiculous. We played so terrible overall as a team. And any moments that we may have looked good, you just have to sit there and chalk it up to like, well, it's the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are bad. That doesn't mean we played well. It just means, or there was a good moment or a good execution. It just means that the Dolphins suck, so we snuck one by them. But a fucking, not many, not enough. 30-13, are you fucking serious? It's some crazy shit that where we haven't lost, the Bills haven't lost by double digits to the Dolphins since like 2002 or something like that. Like, what the fuck are we doing? I don't think we've lost to the Dolphins since in 3 or 4 years. I think we had just beaten them the last 6 or 7 times we played. Dude, so what the fuck, man? I mean, a lot of times I would sit here and I would say, the guys on the other sideline get paid to play football too. And I stand by that stance. But that's more like, hey, they'll cover the spread. That's like, oh, last week, the Panthers were 13.5-point underdogs to the Packers. I would have bet the Panthers just because 13.5 points, that's a lot. The other guys get paid to play football too. Did I see them winning? No, that was crazy. But, those are the teams, those are the moments where you go like, well, they get paid to play. Dolphins, they get paid to play. But our team is supposed to get paid to fucking beat those teams, to kick the shit out of those bad teams. And we just didn't. Just no execution on either side of the ball. Fumbling, throwing picks, no space. Josh Allen had a couple of fun plays to watch where he's, scrambling to the right and scrambling to the left, and he's looking for someone. He scrambles back to the right, and then he, on third down, throws the ball 15 yards to, I think it was Elijah Moore, picks up a first down. That was cool. It was fun to watch. But we shouldn't be needing things like that to happen to be a 2-7 team. The fact that it's the Dolphins makes it worse. The fact that it's in division makes it way worse. But any 2-win team should not be letting, we shouldn't be losing those games. Shouldn't be losing those games. You look at the schedule last year, okay? The Ravens lost in, I believe, week 2 to the Raiders, and the Raiders sucked. And a few weeks later, I don't remember when, they lost to the Browns, and the Browns sucked. So they didn't win a Super Bowl, and this is the kind of win that puts the Bills in that category. Do I think they'll make the Bills will make the playoffs? Yes. I think they have. They're Josh Allen is too good not to make the playoffs. He's gonna make the playoffs. Am I worried about the team as a whole? A little bit, yeah. A lot of it. Actually, that was terrible. That was bullshit, dude. Words can't describe. I'll tell you how I handled this loss. Is I was sitting there at halftime. My sister came downstairs where I was watching the game. She goes, "Hey, I got some strawberry jam-filled cookies upstairs." I was like, "Oh my God, this sounds good." Went upstairs, had one with a small glass of milk. I was like, that's enough. Back to the game. The Bills were shut out at halftime. So it was a little bit of an emotional snag, but I was like, hey, there's still a lot of time left. Bills have come down from worse. We got a lot of time left. We did 15 points in 5 minutes earlier this season. We got a whole half and we're down 16. Would be good. And then we ended up losing 30-13, so I went upstairs and I ate 2 or 3 more of those fucking cookies with a lot of milk. Just completely ate my feel. It sucked so much, dude. So much. I don't have the words to describe, but I'm going to jump into a related team, and maybe this will help me. Maybe this will help me get it out a little bit here. Seahawks 44, Cardinals 22. Now, Seahawks are a damn good-looking team. If the money was better, I'd probably... Well, if the money was better, I would probably bet them to win the Super Bowl and just hedge it. But I actually do think they could win the Super Bowl the way they look right now. Last week, Monday night, Seahawks are playing whoever the fuck, Washington, and just destroy them, blow them out completely. 38 points in the first half type of shit. It was nuts. And then they followed up this week doing almost the exact same thing. Now, a team that can do that is kind of underrated at the time. No one really believes in them, but they're having a couple. They're hell of a season. Really playing really well. And then they go out at the trade deadline one day after having a dominant win. Trade deadline was on Tuesday. They blew out the Commanders on Monday night. They trade for Rashid Shaheed from New Orleans. They make a move, get a receiver. They're like, we're going in on this. We're blowing this up. What we're missing is another threat in the receiving game. Rashid Shaheed fits our needs, fits our scheme. We're going to go and get him. And so they did. And then they followed that up with a dominant win against the Cardinals, division rival. Now you look at the Buffalo Bills. They had I wouldn't say a dominant win, but a really good win against the Kansas City Chiefs. Anytime you could beat the Chiefs, that's a good win. 28-21. This was last Sunday, 4:30, I think it was. Good looking game. They beat them in the regular season, par for the course. Trade deadline comes around on Tuesday. Bills make no moves. In fact, what I heard was that they were the highest bidders for Jalen Waddle of the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins denied those trade proposals. Don't remember what they were off the top of my head. I think it was they offered a fourth and wanted a third or something like that. I don't remember exactly. Or no, that's what the Jets wanted from Breece Hall. They wanted a third. But either way, trying to get Jalen Waddle. In that attempt, they failed. And they instead went on to get no players at the deadline, make no moves, nothing to fortify the defensive line, nothing to back the secondary, and nothing to increase the strength of our receiving core. Then what happened? Much like the Seahawks this weekend, we played a division opponent who's clearly not as good as us, but we lost strongly because of lack of weapons, a lack of cohesiveness. We were missing key players. The Dolphins haven't been able to. Devin A-Chain fucking scorched the Bills. It was crazy. The offensive line was struggling with their pass. It was a very weird game. Like, hey, kudos to the Dolphins for getting up for this one and really showing out. But the Bills in the Seahawks right now are two sides of the same coin. Honestly, two sides of the same coin where they're both Super Bowl contenders, both put in that upper echelon category. Even Sam Darnold and Josh Allen were in the same draft. Okay. And one team went in on winning the Super Bowl and made a move at the deadline to try and make their team better, and one team didn't. And the team that didn't make a move to fix their obvious needs lost the week after, and I really do think if I was unbiased, if I wasn't a Bills fan, a diehard Bills fan, and I was completely unbiased, I would say that is the kind of loss it's not a fluke. It is, they're just not going to win the Super Bowl. If I was unbiased, I would say the Bills are not going to win the Super Bowl having a loss like that. There's just no way. I just don't see how it could happen. You're not going to be able to push through. Now, when the playoffs come, hey, things are different. And I am a Bills fan, so I do believe that there's still a shot. But if I'm being unbiased, it's a very, very big problem. Very, very long shot. I would be massively, massively worried if I was a Bills fan, which I am, but in this scenario, being unbiased, you know what I mean. The Bills are in trouble. The Bills are definitely in trouble. That it's bad. It's bad. I think the Seahawks have just shown that they're a better run organization. They've been to a Super Bowl way more recently and found a way to turn things around and are making moves to getting back to a Super Bowl and are obviously all in on contending with the roster that they have. And so are the Bills. But the difference is that the Bills think they have everything that they need in-house. And if you ask any Bills fan walking down the street, hosting a show like this, searching on Twitter, sitting in a bathtub, whatever the Bills fan's doing, he's going to tell you there's something missing, there's something not right. We should have made a move, should have fixed the secondary, defensive line, receiving core. We needed to do something, and we didn't. And the Seahawks felt like they needed to do something, and they did, and that's the difference. That's why I think, despite what the odds books saying, despite what's on DraftKings and FanDuel and BetMGM, whatever the fuck, whatever Vegas is saying, despite all that, the Seahawks are way more likely to win a Super Bowl this year than the Bills are. And that has everything to do with the trade deadline and the fact that the organizations have one's chosen to go all in and one has chosen to be mediocre and see what we got. And it's massively disappointing. It would have been one thing if we beat the Chiefs, didn't make a move, but then beat the Dolphins, just kept cruising the way, winning the games you're supposed to win. But to beat the Chiefs and then not make a move and lose a game you're supposed to win against a division opponent, that's a problem. That's a big problem. And so just a sad day. It's a sad day for the Mafia. Real sad day. Man. But what are you going to do? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep backing Jonathan Taylor to win the MVP. Last I checked, he was like fourth in MVP voting. I think he should be number one. He's on pace for 2,000 yards, 30 touchdowns. The guy is a monster. Out there in Germany this weekend, he had another 3-touchdown game. That's his fourth game this season with 3 touchdowns, and his 5th game this season with multiple touchdowns. He's an incredible player. He's having, to this point and through the projections, I would say he's having a better season than Saquon Barkley did last year. And last year, Saquon Barkley was a top 5 MVP candidate for a large portion of the year. And most everyone was sitting there like, oh, maybe this is the year we make a running back the MVP. And you know what? No, it wasn't, because Josh Allen was going to win that one. Now, this year, I don't think Josh is going to win. Let's give it to a running back. Why not? Why not have some fun? Spread the love around a little. And instead of just going, whoever's the 1 seed or the 2 seed with the best record or the quarterback on one of those 2 teams, let's give it to them. How about we give it to a player who's not only stuck by his team and really led his team from what was not even a playoff contender and has been the best player on that team, kept them relevant, and the moment they got even a semblance of, I don't know, capable quarterback play through Daniel Jones, has taken off, put the team on his back, gone out, not only kept the Falcons from winning this game in Germany, but damn near single-handedly kept his team alive, pushed it to overtime, and won the game by himself. He had like something nuts, like 286 yards from total yards this weekend while he was overseas in the, I all the slang I know for Germany in terms of, like, I can't call it the Big Apple, that's New York. I don't know what to call Germany in that front, but everything I do know is, like, World War II related, so I feel like it's not cool to say. But he went overseas, had a dominant game, showed that he should be the MVP. I'm tired of this Drake May talk, and I'll tell you why I don't like the Drake May for MVP talk, because I know it's not how it works, and if it was my quarterback, I'd be saying the same thing. But isn't there a little, if you're being unbiased, isn't there a little part of you that's like, he needs to earn it? Like I'm a Bills fan who lives in New England, so it does kinda suck a little bit. But to be around all these guys, I had someone tell me that like, "Oh, it's been a long 3 years since the Bills were good," and I was like, "Jesus Christ, man." First off, it's been like 5 years since the Patriots were good. Did I say Bills a second ago? I meant the Patriots. I'm a little tired. Since the Patriots were good, it's been like 5 years. So learn your team history. Also, fuck off. You know what I mean? Like 5 years? 5 years. I've been a Bills fan for a long time. Now, was I a Bills fan for the entirety of the 17-year playoff drought? No, because the playoff drought started in 99? And I was born in 1998. So no, I was not a fan for the entirety of the drought. Was I a fan for a good chunk of it? Yes, my fair share of years. I was a fan of a bad, bad team while I had to sit back and watch the Patriots come into town and beat the shit out of us every year with Tom Brady. I hate Tom Brady. I respect him, but I hate him. Also, he's cloning his dog. I did not talk about that last week because I think I missed it or it didn't come out till like after the episode aired or whatever. That's weird, isn't it? He's cloning his dog. Like, that seems very strange to me. That's like a weird, rich, white guy, creepy move to do. Like, you have too much money. Like, get a new dog, adopt a dog. There's tons of dogs that need to be adopted, but you're gonna clone your old dog that passed away. I don't know, something about that seems very like supervillain, and I'm not a huge fan of it. That seems very like it's so creepy, like a Jordan Peele horror movie type of thing. I don't know about that. But anyway, I don't want to hear how your team has been bad for 4 or 5 years. You don't deserve to win an MVP right now. You don't. Frankly, I don't think you will. I don't think Drake May has a strong enough. It is a media award. You do need a little bit of narrative to back it. And flatly, I think Matt Stafford has the better narrative of those two quarterbacks. And I think that Jonathan Taylor being a dominant running back and potentially being the first running back since, like, what was it, 2012 when Adrian Peterson won it, I think that narrative is going a lot. I don't think the narrative for Drake May is going to beat either one of those. Like, his stats are not that. His stats are good. They're not win him the MVP because how could we possibly justify giving it to someone else? Good. Like, they're not that good, but Matt Stafford's having an incredible, incredible season at like 38 years old or whatever it is. He's thrown like 20 touchdowns, no picks in the last 6 games or something along those lines. I don't know. You guys know I'm not a stats guy, but it's you gotta fix whatever that that narrative is because we can't be sitting here letting the Patriots just wiggle their way back into another dynasty. And that's gonna fall on the Bills, and now since the Dolphins won, you know what? It's on the Dolphins too. Okay, so how about you guys get your shit together, go ahead collectively. The Jets just won a game. It was against the Browns, but you traded away a bunch of important pieces and then went out and won a game. It's on the AFC East. Guys, let's unite commonly as we once did in our fight against the dominance of the New England Patriots. It was 20 years of tyranny. 20 years of tyranny they had over the AFC East. We can't let them get back after 5 years. We cannot. It's not fair to football. It's not fair to AFC East fans. It's not fair to the NFL. It's just not. Let's see some other, it's the same problem that the Chiefs have. Let's just see some other teams win. No one wants to watch it go Chiefs, Pats, Chiefs, Pats, Chiefs, Pats, Chiefs, Pats for the next 12 years. No one wants that. So it starts with the AFC East. Let's put our foot down and shut down the Patriots. And kicking it over to the AFC West, you guys you got to shape up and stop the Chiefs. You have to. You have to. If the playoffs started today, right now, today, the Chiefs would be out. Good. But somehow they're still like the odds-on favorites to win the Super Bowls. This is like the third or fourth week in a row that this has been the case. I think I've brought it up every week. That's a problem, dude. That is a real problem. The rest of Broncos, Chargers, even the Raiders, you need to do your part in shutting down the dynasty of the Kansas City Chiefs, just like the AFC East is going to do their part to shut down the dynasty of the New England Patriots. And Eagles need to watch out because they're close to being on that list. The Philadelphia Eagles, I'm close to being done with you. Now, it doesn't hurt me as much because the NFC can't stop me and my team from getting to a Super Bowl, but you can stop us from winning it. So, and let's just see some different teams in there. Let's see the Lions get in there. Let's see the Seahawks get in there. That would be just a fun change. The Sam Darnold Seahawks. Honestly, I'd be kind of upset if Sam Darnold got drafted before Josh Allen to the Jets and then went to, where'd he go after that? He went to the Niners. He went to the Panthers. Oh, he went Panthers, Niners, Vikings, and now Seattle. And if he wins the Super Bowl or makes it to a Super Bowl before Josh Allen, that's really going to suck. You know what I mean? It's really, really going to suck. But I will say one thing that we do kind of have going for us is that Sam Darnold did play for the Vikings last year, was dominant with the Vikings last year, had a really, really good run, looked like a potential Super Bowl contender, and they fell apart the last 2-3 games of the season. So could that happen again with Seattle? Maybe. Am I counting on that? No, I think the Seattle team is somehow better than that Vikings team. But you gotta be on the lookout for that. That could be a real life scenario that the Seahawks are dealing with. Yeah. Let's talk a little Thursday night football. It's kind of like more like a prime time football conversation, but we'll talk Thursday specifically just because of the personal interest in that game. That was Broncos, Raiders, Thursday night football. Do I care about those teams? Not really. But I had a gambling plan in place that actually my entire family jumped on board with. Was it a little ridiculous? Probably. Was it doable? More so than you would think. It was actually really way closer than it ended up being. Now, on Thursday night, I was just at the gym, kinda, what am I gonna do tonight?" Looking at the sports betting app and was just going, "Who do I, uh who do I have a feeling about to get a touchdown tonight?" I ended up with 5 different players. 5 different players. Now, I don't wanna mess up the number here. I think the parlay I put together with these 5 players was 1,500 to 1. So $1 paid you 1,500 bucks. I just wanted to get a nice even number in my account. I think I ended like 19 cents. I was like, "Well, let me throw 19 cents on that." And it said 250 bucks. I was like, "Hold on. Hold on a second. That's pretty good." And I did like a lot of these guys. So I went to the family group chat, "Hey, who wants to jump on this with me?" Nothing crazy, $1 wins 1,500 bucks. My mom said, "Put $1 on for me." My sister goes, "Hell yeah, how about put $2 on it for me?" My dad chimes in after that, "How about you put $3 on it for me?" And I was like, "Well, our older brother's at work. Do we include him?" My mom goes, "I'll cover him for a buck." $7.19 was the overall contribution that my family put on this bet for a potential payout of $10,750. And damn, were we close. Ended up going 1 out of 5 on the parlay legs. 1 out of 5. We had Ashton Genty, Pat Bryant, Bo Nix, Trey Tucker, and Evan Ingram. And I'll tell you this, 1 out of God, Ashton Genty got in. That was good. We knew that was going to happen. Pat Bryant scored a touchdown, got called back by a flag from the rookie Troy Franklin, rookie wide receiver. Trey Tucker on the Raiders, he got a touchdown, got called back because of a flag from their rookie wide receiver. And after that, the the hitting, the fighting, the battling, the back and forth, smash, 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 turned into a defensive battle. Raiders 7, Broncos 10, and our parlay died because of a couple of rookie wide receivers who just had to throw a chip block, who just had to grab a jersey at the last second, who had to impede a route, blindside hit a linebacker. I don't remember what the flags they got called were, but I know that they took away our touchdowns that we definitely needed. So we were real close to 3 out of 5 on that parlay. And I'll tell you this, if that had been a higher scoring game, if those 2 touchdowns had gone through, I bet you we would have hit the other legs too. I bet you we would have. There were so many times. We had Bo Nix to get a touchdown. He got close a couple times. Kept bailing out the last second. He'd run straight up right to the line of scrimmage, and right before his toe crossed over that line, he'd huck the ball to somebody. God, we were had a lot of close ones. My mom said, "A family that gambles together stays together." And I think that is a great theme for this particular segment. We got a Thursday night football game coming up. Hell, maybe I'll throw together something for the family to jump on then too. None of them gamble. I'm the only one who really gambles. And I think if we had won that bet, I think that would have flipped a lot of them. I think they would have been like, "Whoa, keep putting stuff together like that. Maybe we'll get one." We just might. We just might. Thursday night family gamble plan. Grinding our way to $1 million. Because a family that gambles together stays together. What a great sentiment. What a great sentiment. But really, what we're talking about is that there's something wrong with primetime football games. Thursday night, 10 to 7. Every game, some people consider the 4 o'clock window primetime games. And so if we do say that those are primetime games, all those games this weekend sucked. 2 of them were 44-22. That's a blowout. And the other one was 42-26. That is still a blowout. So then you add on the Sunday night football, Steelers at Chargers. Chargers won that game 25-10. That's a blowout. Anything more than 14 points, that is a blowout in the NFL, in my opinion. In my opinion, takes 14 points to be a blowout at a minimum. I think at least. It could be, well, if you want to say it takes 10 points, then fine. But for me, the number really feels more like 14 to be a blowout. So just not good football games to watch. And then you look at Monday Night Football. Usually I record this on Monday night, often before Monday Night Football or during. Today is Tuesday, November 11th. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there, from everyone who is here at the Pat on the Back podcast. Proud to be veteran owned and operated, but we got the day off for Veterans Day. So what I decided was, you know what? I'm not going to record Monday night. I'm going to record Tuesday after Monday Night Football, and I'll get to talk a little bit about Monday Night Football. I don't normally get to do that. And then I watched the Eagles go to Wisconsin, hunker down there in the cold, cold weather and wind of Green Bay, and dominate the Packers 10-7. Just another, every prime time game, not counting the Germany game, because I don't think that's considered prime time at 9 o'clock in the morning. Every single prime time game this week really sucked. It just really sucked. It was either super low scoring or a complete blowout. And I think that's a problem. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what the cause is. I don't know if it's the case of really bad matchups or the case of really good ones. But the primetime games just seem to be sucking. And I think that's overall. I don't think that's limited to just this past weekend. You know me, I'm not going to go look up those stats. I'm not going to go checking scores. I looked at the scores for this weekend. That should be enough. But the primetime games have just been really bad this year. I'm still going to watch them. Not a chance will I sit at home on a Thursday night and not have Thursday Night Football on. Not a chance am I going to sit at home on Sunday night waiting, stretching, getting ready to go to work bright and early Monday morning. You think I'm not going to watch Sunday Night Football? Of course I'm going to watch Sunday Night Football. What else am I going to do with my time? You think after getting up at 4:30 Monday morning so I can drive an hour and be to work at 6, work 10 hours? Because that's what I'm doing this week. Work 10 hours, drive, get stuck in traffic, get home at 5:45, go to the gym, work out for 2 hours, get home at 8:15, crack open the laptop, fire up the game, and watch a shitty Monday Night Football. You think I'm not going to do that? Of course I'm going to do that, even if the game sucks. But the problem is I don't want the game to suck. I want to watch a good game. No one wants to watch bad football. No one wants to watch blowouts and low scoring, less than 20 points total. The Eagles and Packers were tied last night at halftime. They were tied 0-0. What is going on? It needs to be fixed. I'm going to watch the games. Obviously, I'm going to watch the games. But I like good football more than bad football. I mean, football's football, but if I had a choice, I'd pick a shootout. I'd pick a 21-28. I'd pick a 44-46, whatever it looked like. I want a different game than just shitty, boring football. I want some excitement. It's one of the greatest sports on planet Earth and the greatest sport in America. And when I say one of the greatest, competing with the numbers of soccer and basketball is pretty tough. Foreign countries are really, really jumping on that shit right now. For one, soccer, obviously they like soccer more than anything else across the globe. Every country that has any semblance of what's going on in the world has soccer as their number one sport, except for America. America, I do believe, is American football. This is based on nothing. It is American football in America, followed quickly, I think, by the NBA, then baseball, and then soccer is probably fifth behind hockey. Hockey feels like it's had a pretty big resurgence. I don't know if that's just because I live in New England, and so, fucking people love hockey out here. That could just be because of the New England thing, but I would say, if I were to guess, it's in America, it's football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, and everywhere else in the world, it's soccer, 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 basketball, baseball. I think soccer's it takes up the top 3. I don't know what point I was trying to make with this particular conversation. Oh, yeah, I don't wanna watch bad games. Don't wanna watch bad primetime games, and every primetime game has just seemed to miss the mark in a really, really big way that really just fucking sucks, you know? Just really sucks. You know what else sucks? Is the come on the back of the week. Well, we like the come on the back. That's a weird sentence. That was completely unintentional. The come on the back of the week is fun for us. I don't think there's any way to say it without it seeming weird, but the come on the back award we really like here. Probably who doesn't like it is actually the winner this week, and that's Antonio Brown, who has escaped the country. I want to say earlier this year. He fled the country, went to Brazil or something where they don't have real money. Um, or apparently, non-extradite clauses with America because he got arrested and sent back here to the United States and is being well, I was gonna say I'm not a lawyer. He's being charged with, like, being affiliated with a shooting or, like, he stole a cop's gun and fired it or something and then fled the country. Either way, he's back in town now, which is exciting for him. Um, Not in a good way, but I'm sure his heart rate is up and his scrambled brain is doing its best to try and piece things together. But he is the come on the back of the week. Welcome back to America, buddy. Welcome back. We missed you. We missed you. We hadn't heard from you in a little bit. We hadn't seen Hadn't seen your dick posted on Twitter in a little bit, but boy, oh boy, here we are. Can't wait for that to get started back up for like a week until you end up in prison, most likely, honestly, where you're probably gonna go is prison. So I wouldn't get like too comfy cozy and start looking for real estate. I would probably start selling things off if I was you. But yeah, yeah, not great for you, my guy. Tough place to be, I think. Very, very tough place to be. Does he get the pat on the back too? Does he get the pat on the back too? No, he doesn't. I think the pat on the back this week is gonna go to Caleb Williams. Uh, should it go to me for being right about the Bears and Caleb Williams and just saying that, yes, they might be 0-2, but just give them a little bit more time and they'll piece it together and they're gonna be fine. Should I get the pat on the back for that? No. No, I can't give it to myself. That would be bad. That would be a poor look for Patty Blue Eyes over here at the Pat on the Back show. Bad, bad look for Patty Blue Eyes. But Caleb Williams can get the pat on the back, and here's why. He gets a pat on the back because his completion percentage may not be good. He may make mistakes. He may do things that no one understands. Make throws and runs and scrambles in ways that can't be comprehended by someone who's not living in that moment, not being chased down by a defender. But, I mean, the guy is a clutch performer. He just knows how to win football games, I think, because he's done it like 3, 4 times now where the Bears are down and they need to really piece it together, and he comes through. I think it's fair to say that right now Caleb Williams is a top 5 clutch time quarterback in the league. Who do I think are the most clutch quarterbacks? I mean, it's really gonna be we'll try and keep it as fair as we can, but you're really looking at some of the top guys in the league. And if we're gonna put Caleb Williams in there, let's be fair to everyone to not oversell ourselves. Let's put Caleb Williams at number 5. So that gives us a good cap on it. Now, I don't know exactly what order we're going to put this in, or, that could shift. I'm doing this off the top of my head, but we'll say the clutch time quarterbacks in the league right now. I think Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen have to be on that list. The way they perform in the biggest moments. Caleb Williams is on a list with them, and it is a positive list. After that, I'll be honest, I don't think I have Lamar Jackson in there because I don't we just don't see him be clutch enough, and then in the playoffs, he tends to lose games. So, I don't think he is a top 5 clutch time quarterback. This list might actually be harder than I thought. We're gonna put Matt Stafford in there. He's a beast. He's a beast. We've seen it all throughout his career. He's been in the league for like, what is it, 15 plus years now? You see it all the time back when he started, when he was a rookie, all the way to now, when he's on the hunt for his first MVP award. Matt Stafford is also a clutch quarterback. So that gives us 4 total. We need one more to drop, just drop right in to that number 4 slot on who the top 5 clutch quarterbacks are this season. And I've tried to get a specific order put together for a graphic to throw up on Instagram and Twitter or whatever. God, a 4th clutch quarterback. Part of me wants to say Joe Burrow, but we haven't seen him, and so I forgot even about this story. You know what? we'll give him respect where it's due. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say top 5 clutch time quarterbacks in the league right now, order to be determined. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Matt Stafford, Joe Burrow, and Caleb Williams. Those are the guys. If you got a clutch time, you need one drive, you need two drives, you need one play. I think I would take those 5 guys over everyone else in the league when you need, to win the game right here, right now, 10 toes down, we are on business. I think I would take those 5 guys over anyone else in the league. Now let's talk a little bit about Joe Burrow before we get out of here. He was seen coming back to practice, um, earlier this week, I wanna say Monday, whatever it was. He was seen coming back to practice on the practice field, very limited, which is good because of the injury he had. He hasn't played since, like, what was it, week 1, week 2, but it's supposed to be an injury that carried on. I wanted to say it was, like, late December. I don't think he should be coming back right now, and here's the thing, I don't think the Bengals would benefit from Joe Burrow being on the field. I think the way that they've scored, especially after getting Joe Flacco, the way that they have scored points, I don't think he would have made much more of an impact. I mean, Joe Flacco he's had multiple games with the Bengals where he scored, 35 plus, 38 plus points, and they've lost. And I don't think Joe Burrow being in the mix would have changed that, because the only way it could have is if Joe Burrow went out and scored 50 plus points, because that's what it would have taken in some of these games. So I don't think that Joe Burrow should come back. For one, I don't see the Bengals making the playoff. I think they're still somewhat in the mix, like, they're not officially, like, mathematically eliminated yet, but I don't think it would be smart right now with the trajectory of the team to even remotely consider putting Joe Burrow back on the field this year, because the defense is so bad, you're gonna get put into passing situations more often. You don't really run the ball that well if you're the Bengals. You're gonna ask him to throw it a lot. I think it's a big, big mistake. I think let him go, and if you make the playoffs, now you throw him in there, because he's gonna give you your best chance to win in the playoffs. But if I'm being realistic and I'm sitting there as the Bengals head coach, I'm going, "Nah, no fucking way are you touching this field when we don't have a guaranteed shot at a Super Bowl." If you could make the playoffs, you could win the Super Bowl, It only takes 2, 3 games. But if you're not gonna make the playoffs, don't put your superstar quarterback in off of injury. Same thing goes to the Washington Commanders. I say Jaden Daniels and Joe Burrow, you shut those guys down for the year, they are done. If you want him to come into practice, get reps, and keep, seeing how he looks, seeing how he's progressing, okay, make sure he's getting better, but I don't think you play him. I don't think the teams are good enough to warrant putting your star quarterback out there. If you're gonna be in the playoffs, then yes, do it, but I don't think either of those 2 teams are, so what would be the point? You're running an extremely high chance of risk. For what? For what? You're running the chance of ruining someone's career, frankly. And for what? Let them go. Let them be alone. Let them do their thing. Let them recover. Give them the full time to recover. Now, Joe Burrow, I don't think is going to ever win a Super Bowl. Not with the Bengals. And if he keeps getting injured the way he gets injured, not ever. But he's definitely not going to win one with the Bengals. Not going to win one if he can't stay healthy. Let's just stay off the field and get healthy, man, so we can get a little bit of Joe Cool back in our lives. There's something off. He did a a post it's not a post game, but he did a presser where when he was back at practice on Monday, and he just didn't seem the same. He didn't seem like that Joe Cool, I can do anything. I'm going to a fashion show in Paris wearing backless suits and stuff. He didn't have that same vibe. He felt a little bit like he was missing his confidence and his swag. And overwhelming injuries and seeing the state of your team, I think, will do that to a guy. So I don't blame him if maybe he has lost a little bit of that confidence, a little bit of that edge. Maybe it was just because it wasn't game day. I don't know. Maybe it's just but he seemed off. He did not seem himself. He wasn't cool, calm, collected. He was calm and collected. He was half answering questions. They were asking him about his mental health. Not great. I hope he's doing okay, but something seemed off with the man right there. And I wish him I wish him and Jaden Daniels nothing but the best. Speedy, effective recoveries. I don't want to see them on the field at all this year. I think our podcast gets at most 4 or 5 listeners. Sad to put that out here, but I think that's really what we're looking at. So if for whatever reason this gets pushed into a decision maker, a decider, it gets in front of Joe Burrow's eyes, the Commander organization, the Bengals organization, please shut those guys down for the year. They don't need to be out there. Their teams are not good enough. Give them time to recover fully and improve as a team. And when you're actually fucking ready to be a fucking good team, then you start putting your quarterback out there. But not now. Not now. No one wants to see it now. So just let it go. I don't know how I got on to this rant. I truly don't. I really like I said, I am tired. My brain is not firing at 100% right now. I think I need some water. So I'm gonna go get some water. And you know what? You guys go get some water too. Okay? Gets dehydrated out here for a pimp. All right, but seriously, I'm gonna go get some water. Um, I'm really worried about the Bills. It really truly feels like fucking we've got a dick drawn on our forehead at a party and everyone can see it but us and we're fucked. That's how I feel. Caleb is clutch. Joe Burrow, Jane Daniels shouldn't play. And Seattle's legit. If you want a quick, it's a 2 sentence summary. There you go. Guys, if you like the show, go check out Rudy Tuesday, comedy podcast, Breck Michael, Rudy Marinosi, Pat on the Counter, Pat on the Connor. Jesus Christ. Pat O'Connor of Pat on the Back, Patty Blue Eyes for short. And yeah, go check that out. It's a fun podcast. Go follow the Twitter for more takes, more news, and thank you guys so much for listening.